The Five Nights at Freddy's franchise is one of the most milked franchises of all time merchandise-wise. If there's a toy you can think of, Five Nights at Freddy's has definitely done it. Almost 100 unique action figures, almost 100 different pop vinyls, you name it. Weird emoji toys, sure. Ugly carnival plushies, whatever. A cookbook, you know what, sure. Statue of Liberty, Chica? Short story is, the merch for this game is weird. I could go on and on about it all day, but the aspect I really wanted to focus on for today's video was how bizarre some of the action figures are, since I feel like they're the most prominent ones I see people talking about the most, and also some of the more interesting. So to give a little background, Funko, the company behind pop vinyls and all of that merchandise that you get given by a distant uncle, or maybe actually sought out since, some people are insane over these things, is one of, if not the most prominent Five Nights at Freddy's merchandise license holder. They started slow in 2016, releasing some of the best Five Nights at Freddy's action figures to date, along with pop vinyls and plushies. And since then it's been up and down, with some cool figures dropping here and there, but a lot of just absolute trash being released that tends to sit on shelves for months, even years at a time. The action figures started out pretty normal, releasing figures for whatever was popular at the time, or whatever game had just released. So of course initially we had the Five Nights at Freddy's 1 wave, which is still one of the most beloved by fans. Then the second wave came out as Five Nights at Freddy 4 was releasing, so we got the Nightmare action figures, from there it was Sister Location, so on and so forth. It wasn't until the fifth wave when things started to look down, as after some random variants here and there, like a glow-in-the-dark Foxy or a pellet change Funtime Foxy, the Blacklight series was released, and boy was it a mess. Since the sixth and final installment to the main line of games had released and the figures were made, Funko were left unsure of where they wanted to go next for the franchise. They could just re-release the original ever so popular figures, which they ended up doing anyway. But for some reason they ended up releasing the Blacklight figures, because someone at Funko thought people would love these bright colored versions of the characters that are literally only found in the files of one game, never actually showing up in the game. I think the aspect they really wanted to focus on was that it was just like bright color equal kids love and they'll buy, but I don't think they know their audience very well, especially when it comes to a franchise that is obviously focused on horror. Like I get, a lot of kids like it, but at the same time, come on. I myself wasn't too into Five Nights at Freddy's at the time when these released, but I remember seeing them in a store and thinking, damn, these are stupid as hell. Who would buy these? I don't imagine they sold particularly well since, who would want these? They just kind of suck, to put it bluntly. I understand wanting a little Freddy on your desk, and, why wouldn't you? It's just a cute little Freddy from, your favorite game. But why would you want this one? It's, not in a game, it's ugly, it sticks out way too much. There's no recognizability. It just doesn't add up in my mind. Anyway, so Funko's next line of thought was that, well, nobody cares about the old characters since these didn't sell well, so let's just re-release our latest ones. But wait, they just have to have some sort of twist again, which is how we ended up with the Five Nights at Freddy's 6 wave again, but this time, glow in the dark. But then not include the most popular figures in the wave? I don't get it. Lefty and Scrap Baby are some of the most iconic designs in the entire franchise. It makes no sense. If you couldn't tell yet, Funko is kinda stupid when it comes to this sort of stuff. Like these guys. You recognize them, right? Of course you do, because they're some of the most popular designs along with Scrap Baby and Lefty. And they don't have any merchandise other than one-off random convention exclusives. Why Funko? It's just dumb. It's money sitting there. But, oh well. Anyway, after this, Funko finally came out with something that wasn't repaints for once. The Security Breach Wave was released in 2021, and what should have been a home run for Funko was fumbled so hard that it's genuinely hard to believe. I mean, come on. I get having to change proportions and details for designs to make them work on an action figure. Obviously, some certain characters designed with ideas in mind that won't work on an action figure. You're gonna have to change. I get it, and it makes sense. But these are just hideous. I could believe that these were done from memory. They missed the mark on every single point possible. They like the body shape, the head shape, proportions, sizing. Why is Freddy's head so fat? and all around, they're just ugly to look at, really. Like this. This looks nothing like Monty. The head shape is completely different. Chica's face does not look like that. And Vanny, don't even get me started on Vanny, dude. These were released before the game had shown off the designs as well. So keep in mind, these were literally the first look anyone ever got at these characters. And these are some of the most crucial characters in the whole franchise at the moment. But even if they're ugly, at least they were original. And they're not just cheap recolors. Because it wouldn't be long before Funko really started to go insane with what they were releasing. And I don't mean that in a good way. The next line would consist of Freddy Frostbear, Easter Bonnie, and Chocolate Freddy, Bonnie, and Chica. All I have to say is who? Who wanted these? Who asked for these? Why did they ask for these? Now, in all honesty, I think these figures are fine. I think having chunks missing from them is actually a really cool concept, and Frostbear is apparently translucent. I don't actually own this figure, which I actually think is dope. But like, why would you want to make these? Like, what little kid desperately wanted these? If you are that kid though, I'm sorry. I think they're lame, but you know, oh well. If you were that little kid who desperately wanted these, I think that's awesome, and I hope you love them dearly, honestly, truly. These figures were actually based off a game this time, Five Nights at Freddy's AR, which is a mobile game with tons of skins, because what kind of mobile game would introduce character skins for every conceivable situation ever? Anyway, the next line hits and we finally get new characters again, this time for Help Wanted, the VR game's DLC, Dreadbear. These ones I'm actually a huge fan of, and I won't lie, I would kill to own these, especially Captain Foxy. Glitch Trap is awesome, Dreadbear is cool, although a little bright and saturated. The two Nightmare variants are pretty cool, especially since Grim Foxy is not a recolor, whereas I think Nightmare Bonnie is. You can tell he has a different hook and different head shape and all that. I think he's really cool. Captain Foxy is my favorite. I think he looks cool as hell, and if you disagree, I will kill you. So Funko is back, right? The figures are cool again, the characters aren't weird, original, ugly concepts, and... oh. This wave is easily one of the most controversial in the Five Nights at Freddy's figure timeline, dog. We finally got Toy Freddy, Toy Bonnie, Toy Chica, but they look like this. Why? They were so close. They literally have the molds of the characters. They can make it. Why? So yeah, these are all based off Fnaf AR again, the mobile game again. But again, drop the ball as hard as humanly possible. Fans have been asking for these characters years and years and years in years. And you give us this. People have even bought these figures just to customize them and make them into the figures we actually want. If that doesn't show you how hard Funko missed, then I don't think anything ever will. This line also came with Toxic Foxy, kind of cool. He's translucent again, which I like, and actually has a built-in endoskeleton, which people have broken out. And it's actually kind of neat. I think like that's kind of cool, but also if you want an endoskeleton, you shouldn't have to destroy an entire figure for it, but that's just me. Toxic Springtrap, which again I really like this one. I think it's cool. I'm mainly biased because it's a cool concept to have a purple Springtrap, because obviously that's William Afton. And then we have glow-in-the-dark variants of those. And then the one you've probably all been waiting for, Liberty Chica. I have no idea, dude. Don't even ask. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to say. Honestly, it's a pretty okay figure seemingly. No legs, so lesser movement, but like, it's actually not terrible. I think it's pretty funny novelty too, like, just the idea of having this Five Nights at Freddy's character as a Statue of Liberty, you know, and you can hold it, throw it at a wall if you want. But it makes you think, like, damn, this used to be a horror franchise. There are seemingly kids' bodies stuffed into this. Anyway, to close off this wave, we have Shamrock Freddy, another kind of novelty figure that's kind of funny, but again, kind of stupid. Like, conceptually, I guess it's funny, but, you know, owning it, I think, is like a whole other thing. I'm gonna have to give this one a 7. This whole wave, just a 7. The next one, however, is probably in the negatives in my opinion when it comes to my rating. The tie-dye wave. This is by far Funko's laziest efforts to date. The 4th time that these figures have been released with a new coat of paint. 4th. The other ones I can understand a little bit, but these are just so lazy, it's actually quite pathetic. No game ties, no book ties, no nothing. And is tie-dye even popular anymore? I don't think it is. Or if it is, isn't it on clothes? Not a brand new Freddy Fazbear action figure? Anyway, these were released like 2 or 3 years ago and are still sitting on shelves to this day. Not just 1 or 2, but like tons of them. I've seen them at my local stores and they're just sitting there because nobody wants them. We actually did get one random figure in this set, Arctic Ballora, which is kind of cool. I guess it's another AR skin, but again, it's just another skin at the end of the day. There's not that much to it. This whole wave, negative 100 out of 10 for me, and it would be a lot worse if it wasn't for Arctic Ballora. Anyway, that's gonna do it for today. I'll catch you guys again when Funko releases more weird and ugly, off-putting recolors. Or maybe this time they'll actually make efforts of characters that people want. Who knows? Anyway, be sure to subscribe to be notified when that video drops, and like this video to win a free breath of air. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.